Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons Podcast UK. My name is Yasmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale, and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hello, I'm Colin, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a Paladin from Thraben in the province of Gavany.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shawfort, a goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I play Otto, a spring sage from Hanweir sworn to the land, wandering the plain and setting wrongs to right with his ursine companion, Bojo.
Looking back on episode 133, we witnessed the sorceress spitefully use a burrowing piton to drill deep into the body of the brute and dealing some decent damage at last. Thanks to Ogvar, the other deck dweller was prone and cleverly cloaked in a cargo net of sturdy proportions. His promising plan of getting the golem over to the ship's starboard side and dispatching it into the depths was certainly growing ever more urgent. Manhandling the monstrosity was a tricky task, but together they managed their objective, and as it slipped below the briny broth, the sight invoked a sense of smug satisfaction, as well as being one less bother for the team. But triumph was transient, and as the other golem got to grips with its feet at last, it dispensed with all ceremony, clouting Cuin in the chest, leaving him somewhat winded and with a cursed wound to boot. Meanwhile, Elora had another epiphany, and not in a good way, as she realised that the ruckus their arrival had caused meant that Rowan had been rendered visible, as her veil of invisibility had now failed, and leaving him fully exposed to an avian attack. Episode 134. Plumage Plummet.
Okay, so Eric will similarly help with this plan. He's going to grab a rope himself, run down. He's not as, let's say, athletic as you are, Ogvar, so he's going to take a bit more of a sedate approach. He's going to make a loop, and then you see him kind of stood there, loop held between his hands at the top, kind of trying to, as the flailing limb goes by, trying to just kind of, slip it on, which he will manage to do. So he will grab He will loop up the leg on this same side. So I'm imagining you've gone for... Which hand have you gone for? The right hand? Closest to the left hand?
Yeah, closest to us, yeah.
Okay.
Take it everybody's moved back down onto the foredeck at this point, apart from maybe Laura, because she didn't move at all.
I don't think... Well, Cuin...
Otherwise, you're going to have the longest arms on her.
Cuin hasn't had his turn yet, so he's still on the foredeck.
But Ogvar did
Ogvar and Eric are...
I missed that.
Ogvar and Eric are down on the lower deck. Yeah, so Eric will take the leg on that right-hand side. So you've now got you're on the far side of the deck, more towards the prow, with an arm. Or tried to get the arm in. Eric's got a leg, and he's on the the back end of the ship's side. Okay, so next up in the order is Cuin.
Cuin, is there another rope? Or...
Oh yeah, you can pick up another rope.
Up goes down to join the fun.
Yep.
Okay, and tries to also loop on around the arm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you'll be able to loop around the arm. You're going to have to, have a bit of a, kind of dance with it a bit as it flails slightly. But yeah, you'll be able to loop it around the arm, and you'll also be able to kind of push. Are you going for the left arm or the right arm?
Right arm.
Right arm. Yeah. So as you loop your own rope around, you're able to push Ogvar's rope onto the wrist as well. So you now have 3 ropes on this golem. And next up is our fabulous birdman, Otto.
Okay. So, spent a couple of turns setting this up. Let's hope this actually works. I'm going to try and keep these things as close as I can while still maintaining a really good speed.
Yep, okay.
I'll fly directly at the ship,
Okay.
glowing and hopefully looking very tasty, and fly through the wall of thorns.
Okay. So, spicy. We like it.
So, what I'm hoping is that I have freedom of movement up, which means that I should be able to move through the wall without being slowed down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The damage side of it is you take damage equal to the AC minus 25 minus your AC. With luminous armor, my AC is 29, so that number should be 0 and therefore shouldn't need a concentration check. And hopefully the birds are fixated on me, and I'll still get, hopefully some of them, to fly through it again.
Okay.
Hoping they're not too intelligent.
That is a solid plan. Okay, so let's get this book out of the way. Oh, everything's going everywhere. Oh, everything is going everywhere. Okay, so let's see. Intelligence for these creatures is not particularly smart. A 4 plus 0, they are incredibly dense. Also, coupled with the fact that you are pretty charismatic, still screeching "fucker" as you go. You are now glowing. There is a lot going on here. These birds, all of them, they're just going to fly straight into the wall of thorns, following you. So, wall of thorns, what happens?
Okay, so no save, simply damage equal to 25 minus their AC.
Okay, so 25 minus their AC, which is 18.
So 7.
So 7 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay.
And then if they're trying to force their way through it, it's full round action, they need to make a strength check, and again, you've got to hit that magic number of 25.
So they're making a strength check. They've got +6 with a rolled 19 plus 6. That's 25.
Again.
Oh my god.
Blasted things!
Yep, they are.
They are persistent.
So let's just deal with the damage to start off with. So we're going to drop down to. Where am I writing it? Okay, so we're going to drop down to that as they all take 7 points of damage. Let me just make a note of that. Blinded. 18. There we go. Okay, yeah. So they all take further damage as they rip through the wall of thorns. However, your cries of "fuck off" has really got their attention, and they force their way through. They are very much intent on hunting you down, no matter what damage they take at this point. So your plan works, you deal damage, however your taunting of them was perhaps a little too effective.
So you guys are going to see this large eagle flying across the ship directly towards you, with a huge cloud of these vultures following him, and you're going to be hearing the version of shit as he's flying overhead.
I think for flavour, even though it's not my turn in the actual round, I think Elora would look up and follow her gaze across as this sight just passes by over the top of the ship, like, what the...
Yeah, I mean that'll do it. Okay. So that's the end of your turn, Otto?
Yeah, that was my attempt.
Okay, so very quickly, focusing on these birds, you've got 18 following you, very much intent on killing you now and having some nice roasted eagle for lunch. You have one which is still kind of sadly floating on top of the water, still entangled by kelp, and one which anyone kind of looking can see is flying off in a very haphazard manner into the distance as it disappears, with its being still blinded. So, end of the round, the golem remaining. The golem remaining is going to attempt to stand up. It will then have to make a reflex save to avoid falling over while attempting to stand up. And it will also be at a disadvantage, so it's going to take a -1 per rope that is currently attached to it, so that's going to be a -3 onto the roll. So let's see, it's then got a -4 cumulatively. So a 6 minus 4 is a 2. It is going to fail to get up. You see it begin to struggle, but as it begins to kind of get a leg under it, the leg slips out, it comes crashing back down to the deck. And with these ropes now over its wrist and its ankle, pulling at it, you are doing enough to keep it just off balance that it will just not be able to get up. Okay, so top of the round, going into round 9, Elora, it is your turn.
Yeah, Elora's running down the steps and she's shrieking, "For God's sake, let's get this thing! Get it out of here! We can't keep this up!" At which point she is going to go and run up and grab hold of one of these ropes. Yeah, she's going to grab hold of one of the ropes in the vain hope that she might be able to help in some way.
Okay, so you'll probably grab the nearest, that's probably going to be Eric, so you've now got hold of the rope. Excellent. Are you doing anything? Are you kind of holding an action? Are you preparing an action?
Well, I've actually moved. Do you want me to stay where I am in order to effect this action further down the line when they all pull? That would probably be better, wouldn't it?
I'm after you, which I'll be pulling.
And then I'll be pulling.
And Eric will be pulling. So,
And Eric will be
yeah.
pulling before
So,
me.
join
Okay,
straight
so
check
it
now.
doesn't matter. Right, okay, yeah. So she's basically going to start pulling.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going to kind of snowball Ogvar, Eric and Cuin into one go, because you're all going to be pulling away, I'm guessing?
She hasn't cast yet this round, but what I would do is as the pulling action, that's her action, but she can also cast. If they struggle to pull, she will cast some extra grease on the underside, towards the underside of this thing, to try and ease things along.
Okay, I'm not going to allow that simply because you've moved and then your other action
Okay.
is to pull. You're not going to be able to
Alright,
cast
okay.
as well. You can cast
Alright,
and
fine.
let them pull, or you can help pull yourself. It's one or the other.
No, I'll help pull.
Okay. So, Ogvar, Eric, Cuin, and with Elora with a kind of held action, you're all going to attempt to pull. And I'm going to say you're going to go towards the left-hand side of the boat again, try and pull the golem off, jump it down with its mate.
Send. I was going to say send it to his mate. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right, Ogvar first.
So,
Does that make it second mate? Oh, sorry. Cuin's supposed to laugh at this.
awful. Absolutely awful. Bloody hell.
And again, I take a bow. Thank you very much. But that's
Oh.
another move action, so I guess I'm not going to do that either.
Okay, so again we're going to go with a cumulative strength check. So there are now 4 of you pulling. The DC will remain as it was previously at 25. So you can all roll me strength checks, please.
It's a 9 plus 1, so it's an average human effort. I mean, she's not
Still
the biggest, heaviest.
10.
is she?
It's
So-
still, yeah, we're on our way. Ogvar will have a go then.
Okay.
Oh, not so good. With a 3 with a +1, that's going to be a 4, so it brings us to 14.
Okay, Cuin.
That's a 9 plus 6, 15.
15. Okay, so that brings us up. Okay. And Eric rolled an 11 plus 3, which is a 14, which brings your grand total up to 43, I believe, if my maths is correct.
Excellent.
So,
Away with you.
so yeah, you have the advantage here of having previously pulled the other golem off. You do have a kind of clayey, greasy, slip and slide predestined route, which has already kind of left drag marks across the deck. So the 4 of you pulling away at the two limbs. It is flailing around. It is, you can see the legs. It's almost like a toddler having a tantrum. The legs are going, the arms are flapping as best they can. And you are heaving away. You put all of your strength into pulling. And I imagine as soon as you get close to the edge, you're trying to wrap it around to kind of use it as a pulley, a lever, whatever, so you're not going to be near the edge and potentially get dragged off. You are able to get it onto that edge, and with one final Herculean tug, bloop, the second golem falls over the side, hitting the water with an almighty splash, and disappears into the depths.
I think Elora would be lying flat out on the deck, having tried to pull, push, do anything that she could as well at the end, and just be lying flat out with her arms out in front of her and her palms up as if she just kind of helped to push that last little bit with effort.
Okay, so swiftly moving on because we are still within combat. Otto.
I am running out of tricks. I have tried a lot of different things, and I've still got a lot of these birds on top of me, and I really don't want them going back to the ship. So I'm going to try one last thing to see if I can deal with these, even if it's going to take me out of the combat as well.
Okay.
I am going to, already flying fairly low, I'm going to go even lower, sweeping across the water.
Right.
And I'm going to pull a loop, trying to get them to follow me, and dive straight into the water. At full speed.
Okay, these are not waterborne creatures. How enraged...
Nor am I.
Well, no, but you're making a conscious decision. How enraged are these creatures? So, you are going to make me a... We don't have an annoyance check, so we can't do an annoyance check.
Done a bit of damage to them. I'm glowing nicely.
Intimidate. So we don't really have a specific check for this. So I'm just going to ask you to make a charisma check, and these creatures will make a cumulative wisdom check to see if they're going to be enraged enough to follow you.
Okay. I have a 13 plus 3 for 16.
Okay. 16. They've just rolled a 9 plus 1, a 10 on a wisdom check. You are
Go on.
Nice.
charismatic enough with your fucker and your glowiness, and they are dull enough to follow you into the water. So you shoot.
Gone fishing.
You shoot into the water. You go into a full steep dive. You bloop into the water, jetting down. And, I mean, you get that effect where you your eyes kind of open. You see the deep blue in front of you, and you see streams of bubbles bubbling over your beak as you kind of breach the water, trailing upwards. And with very, very muffled hearing, you hear behind you this sound of kind of as these birds follow you into the water, diving beak first and breaching into the waves.
Okay, so I am going to assume, not being an ocean-going creature right now, that coming down at full speed into the water does a fair amount of damage to me. I'll own it.
You're flying
Told
fairly
you shouldn't
low.
have got rid of that boat.
Because it's kind of like falling at full speed into the water, right?
Yeah, I'm.
Falling with style.
How fast is How fast are you travelling? Let's just put it that way.
90 feet around.
90 feet around. If you're keeping the birds in control, you're not going to be going that fast, otherwise you will lose them. So, we will say their maximum speed is really 70 foot. So you're probably going to be going about 70 foot. So, it's usually a d6 per 10 foot, isn't it? Full damage.
7d6 on me?
No, 7d6.
Yep.
7d6, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's going to have to be, I'm afraid.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
It's
The only
cool
good
as-
thing about it is that so will they.
It's cool as fuck. I'll give it that. So there's 5d6. So
This is very druid, isn't
we've
it?
got a 6, a 6, a 4, a 1, and a 1, which is going to be 10, 16, 18. And then that's going to be 2 more with 2 2s. 22 points of damage
22.
to you, Otto. And then for their damage, you can do the honours and roll that one.
Oh, that's kind of you. I just so happen to have a few d6s handy. Not quite enough, but
76,
let's
please.
go. A 6, a 6, a 1, a 4, and a 3, which takes us to 20, plus 2 more. 2 more 3s, 26.
26. Epic. Okay. Let me just do the maths on that one. Okay, yeah. So as you begin to, the water resistance begins to build and you slow down, you're able to kind of open the wing and turn around slightly to see the damage you've wrought above you. You've probably made it a good 50 foot deep into the water, and as you look up you can see above you where these birds, I mean it is a black mat above you of feathers and bodies. They are still alive, they are still moving, you can still see the glint in their red eyes. However, they are battered, there is an abundance of feathers floating around, they are looking incredibly bad. This has taken it out of them. They have not travelled down as deep as you, I'd say. They've met a lot of resistance, and as one's kind of gone in, there's been one following it, and they've kind of piled into the back of each other as well. So it's like a big kind of knot of these birds above you. They are still alive though. You cannot spot any corpses.
Well, let's hope at least they're wet enough that they won't be able to follow everyone else, and I can play catch up later.
Okay,
That was worth it.
it's pretty damn epic. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so birds, as they have piled in, you will start to see some of them kind of flapping desperately, feathers waterlogged, as they're attempting to kind of resurface and make their way back. They're probably about 40 foot as opposed to your 50 foot deep. They are splashy back, struggling. Obviously they are not meant for water. They are incredibly clumsy, and you can almost begin to see panic spreading amongst the flock as some of them start to realise maybe it wasn't really worth it going after that glowy bird saying "fuck ah." Okay, so end of the round. Oh, that is the end of the round because the golem is gone. Okay,
Surely it'd be a bit more like sort of.
it is at this point, yeah.
No.
So, top of the round, going into round 10, this is the final round of your grease before it disappears without you dispelling it. Elora, we are still in combat. You have you're flat on your back, so you can't see anything.
No, I can't see anything.
What you can do, however, is roll a spot check for me.
17 plus 7, which is a 24.
Okay, so as you lie there on your back heaving, you see, far up in the sky, a small, fluttering dot, meandering lazily towards the boat. Okay, so what are you doing?
Elora will raise a finger and point. And then she will catch herself and try and, well, it's full round action to stand up, so I think she's going to need to do that. But I think she would back away from her position in case there were any. Actually, is the grease dissipated yet?
It's the final round of the grease.
This round, isn't it?
Right. I think she, at this point she would dispel it anyway, so she would use her full round action to probably point up, get up. I don't think she can she dispel that as well as an action? No, it's a full round action to get up, isn't it?
Yeah, so the grease will remain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, so she'll just get up, stand up, dust herself off.
Okay, so Ogvar,
Hello.
what are you doing? I'm assuming so Ogvar and Cuin, I'm assuming you've probably stayed on your feet, which meant you would have probably witnessed the great bird swan dive going on in the water.
Yeah, Ogvar will. Well, I assume he will run to the edge of the boat, the side that he can see something going on, and just draw his bow and ready in action, ready to shoot anything that does come out if anything's chasing Otto out of the water.
Okay, excellent. Eric will similarly to Elora be absolutely heaving. He's going to kind of gather himself, tidy himself back away, perhaps kind of his hands might have a bit of clay on, which he looks around, considers wiping them on his trousers, decides better, and then just kind of stands there with his hands up coated in clay. Cuin, what are you doing?
Can Cuin get to the ramp?
Yes, you can get to the ramp.
The ramp that the golems come on.
Yes, you can get to the ramp.
Can Cuin get to the ramp? And just have a little peer to see if you can see anything down there, if there's any light source or anything.
Okay, yes, sure. So, going to the ramp, you can see down it, and you can see that the area below appears to be illuminated by a kind of a brackish green glow. You'd say that this is some form of a light source. It's probably magical in origin because you don't get things which are kind of brackish green naturally. It's a very, very dim. It's a very, very dim light. But there's kind of enough illumination to be able to see. What you can see are very dark wood walls, dark wooden flooring, almost to the point of being black, and not a lot else from the top of the ramp.
And then he will go, right, well, it looks like it's lit down there. Are we going to wait for Otto to investigate? Because there's nothing else up here, is there?
Well, we're still in initiative rounds here, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't respond at the moment.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn, Cuin?
Yep.
Okay, so final in the round is Otto. What are you doing?
This is where I face a quandary. Part of me thinks that maybe the gang doesn't need me, maybe they're quite capable of dealing with whatever's in there, but I'll feel pretty guilty if they can't. But I have limited ways to get back to them. So I think I'm going to try and use my momentum and the freedom of movement I've got,
Okay.
the spell, to try and continue gliding in a bit of a curve just to get back to the surface. I'm not going to be able to get out of it, but maybe I can get to the surface.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to have a pretty poor swim speed as a bird.
Yes.
You will be able to make your way back up towards the surface. You're probably hovering around 25 foot below. You're obviously taking a bit of a wider route to get around the birds, which are still kind of beginning to panic. Okay.
In the same boat as me, basically.
Yeah.
That's fine. I do have a get out of jail free card, but it means I can't rejoin everyone else. So I'm going to try and get back to the surface, and if that takes a while, that takes a while. That's fine.
Okay. So the birds will. You can see that they are pretty much doing the same. They're still panicking. They're still in a big clump. They too will try and get back up to the surface. However, they're going to have a little less success than you because they are all clumped together and there is a certain amount of confusion going on there. So they'll probably be able to make it kind of 10 foot below the surface as well. I think we can say that we're going to drop out of combat now. Drop out of the rounds for Elora, Ogvar, Eric and Cuin. So you're all on the deck of the ship, so at the moment we'll just focus on you, Otto. And it would be your turn first in the order. So you're 25 foot deep. What are you doing at this point? Are you just trying to ascend as quickly as possible?
Floundering and trying to get up. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to reach the surface, get close to where there might be some mooring ropes or something.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you're going to be able to make it to the surface. You've got a fly speed of, I believe, like 90 foot, is it? Fly speed?
And freedom of movement.
And freedom of movement, there we go, yeah. So you're going to be able to, I mean, you will obviously have the reduction because you're in water, not the air. And I guess if anyone took like a cross-sectional view, it would be quite a hilarious image of like a big eagle trying to do like a breaststroke with the wings kind of flapping. But yeah, with that, you are able to get up to the surface of the water. You have moved out initially past the radius of this kind of cloud of feathers and birds. So you are actually well to the side. You've managed to get up to the top. You've breached the surface of the water. You're on the surface of the water at this point. And I mean, you're probably going to try and get as far close to the ship as possible, I take it?
Yeah, I'll get to the surface and start crying to try and attract their attention.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to end the combat round there completely. You will see the birds resurface shortly after you. They'll be coming in I say dribs and drabs, you'll get a couple pop up and then maybe a couple more. As they're all just trying to flounder to the surface, it does seem to be taking them a while to cover and actually try and get to the top, and any which are under the water, you don't know their fate at this point in time. So we're going to drop you out of combat there. So yeah, you're in the sea. You're just going to try and swim as close, flap, splatter across the water, just kind of get there as much as possible. So everyone on deck, you would be able to take a little bit of time to recover, get back onto your feet. Cuin, you were looking down the ramp into the below deck area. But yeah, you would also hear the sound of Otto trying to make his way across you. His feathers are waterlogged, he's not going to be able to get airborne, but you will hear kind of like a flapping and then large splattering sounds as his wings are striking the surface of the water, trying to just kind of inch closer. So what are you all doing at this point?
Don't say laughing.
I think Elora would sort of turn to Ogvar, because I think they're still on the main deck. Well, actually, they'll probably be over by the rail. Which side is Otto? Is he the side that we pushed the golems over, or is he port or starboard? Which side did the golems go over?
So, for a bit more context where the ship, so just to recap very quickly, when you came aboard the ship, the prow is facing the town. So the prow is facing the town, the back end where you've got the poop deck is facing out towards sea. You came aboard on the prow end, on this raised section. You've had this encounter with the golems in effectively what kind of is like the quarterdeck area. It's dropped down, it's kind of like a sunken area. You've had the combat with the golems there. You pushed them off the right hand side of the ship. Otto has flown and he's been over the left hand side of the ship over the sea, and he's probably a good 100 odd foot out from the side of the ship, so he's got a fair distance to go because his fly speed is not slow.
I think Elora's carrying Orland. I think she would at this point she'd turn to Ogvar, quick, over here with me. We've got to get him out. We've got to get Otto out.
Oh, okay, no problem.
So I guess they'll both run. In theory, they'll both run over to the port side of the ship. Obviously, as we look out, I'm guessing we can see Otto way off, a bit of a way off from the ship. And it's about, is it about 25 foot, 20 foot down to the water? Or
It's about 30 foot.
to the water line? Sorry, about 30 did you
foot,
say?
Yes, 30 foot.
30. Okay, she's going to... Orland, can you pass me the ladder, please?
Right, one ladder coming up. And he spits out this miniature ladder. It comes flying out, going woo, straight up in a vertical line.
God, I'm going to reach up and try and grab that.
Yep, okay.
Get hold of that. Ogvar, when he gets a bit closer, Otto, can you hear me? Otto!
Gaga!
Oh, he can't respond to me. Oh, okay. Come closer. I know you can understand me. Come closer. Can you get closer? A little bit closer.
Gaga! Jet fuck! Gaga! I will, in a very undignified manner, try to make my way a little closer.
Dear.
Ogvar, help me get this ladder out. I mean, that's got to be about like 100 foot or something, yeah? Out there.
Okay, yes.
Right, grab hold of one side of this ladder. I'm going to lay it on the deck. I'm going to lay it down
It's a
on
very
the
small
deck.
ladder at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very small ladder. He's holding it. Lean it over the side of the boat. Okay. Oh, God. What were the words? It had words, didn't it? It had words. It had activation words.
I think it's just extend
I think
X amount of feet.
I think it was extend. Yeah. Extend 80 feet. I don't know why I just said 80 feet, but I just said 80 feet. I've done it now.
Okay, so hang on. For clarification, you are both holding on to the top rung or the top kind of section of this ladder, holding it over the side of the ship, which you have now extended to 80 feet while you've got the minimal grip on the ladder. So I want both of you.
Yeah, but
No, you're not getting away with this. You've now got an 80-foot ladder you're both trying to keep hold of, hanging over a 30-foot
Human
drop
catapult!
with only like one hand on it. Okay, so make
but the idea was that it would just extend out away from us. So we wouldn't be holding the top of the ladder, we'd be holding the bottom of the ladder.
Save me, Cuin. You're my only hope.
Okay, it doesn't matter whether you're holding the bottom or the top of the ladder at this point. He's hanging over the side of a ship.
Yeah. Should have tied it.
How have I ended up in this situation?
I'm trying to help him. At least I'm trying to help him.
Fuck.
Everyone else has disappeared.
Okay, so for anyone kind of sciencey minded or engineering minded, you have the railing acting as a fulcrum here. It is the central point where it is balancing.
Yeah.
You have the full weight of 80 foot of ladder on one side and the weight of a sorceress and a ranger on the other.
True.
So I want both of you to make me a strength check, please.
I don't think strength's going to help. It's just going to
Eric!
sheer weight and leverage.
Eric!
Right, strength check. Oh wow, that's a single figure. That's good.
Oh,
God.
are you going to land somewhere behind me when this catapult?
I think I'm right.
Well, there's not enough. If he's by the railing, there's not enough to catapult him over.
So I've got a clay golem we can tie to the other end.
What's this? A straight strength check?
Yep.
That's a 2 + 1. That's a whole 3.
I've rolled an 8 + a 1. That's 9.
Sake.
Does Cuin need to roll to see how much he laughs?
See if he wets himself.
Wouldn't blame him right now.
Well, we've only got to
Jesus.
hang on to it. Can drop into the water. That was the whole point, wasn't it? It needs to drop into the water, which is what she was going
It's
for.
only 30 foot down to the water, that's why we've got 80 foot of ladder.
Because he's 100 foot out and he's flapping. He's not swimming, he's flapping. So I'm trying to get it just that little bit. Give him a... It's going to go down into the water, isn't it?
Something just went down.
Okay, so this is what happens. You are holding this ladder by the top rung. You use the activation word, you get it to extend. It extends out 80 foot and probably plummets from the sheer weight. The ladder, where it is basically balanced on the top of the rail, drops. At this point, two things are going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is that the ladder will drop down at an angle and will wedge itself in the sea floor and against basically the base of the railings to the ship. Although
Does it hit any birds on the way down?
No, it doesn't hit any birds on the way down. Although
It's pinned onto the seabed.
Although the water is deep here for the draft so that the ship can obviously make anchor, the ladder being 80 foot, it is just about long enough that where it drops, it is going to wedge the foot into the sea floor and the top end against the side of the ship, and it will remain there. The second thing that happens, with a 3 and a 9, the pair of you get pulled over the side of the ship from the weight of this ladder dropping. Plummeting down 30 foot, you're both going to take 3d6 as you hit the water's surface. A d6 per 10 foot, as per standard rules. You can blame her for this one, right? So, Ogvar, you take, ouch, 14 points of damage. And Elora, you take, lucky bastard, even though it's her fault, 8 points of damage.
Oh dear.
How many was that for me, sorry?
14.
14, okay.
So Cuin stood on the deck, inspecting down the ramp where the golems emerged from. You hear vague shuffling behind you, noises from both Ogvar and Elora. You then hear Elora in her Australian accent commanding the ladder to extend, promptly followed by 2 large splashes.
I say, do you think that was a good idea? Yes. Are you swimming to him? As he runs over to the side. Hello. Are you swimming to help Otto, or you just fancy a dip?
Elora can't hear him, she's still busy resurfacing.
Otto is making no progress towards the ladder at all. For some reason, he seems to be squawking and moving around on the surface of the water quite a lot, almost like a bird that might be laughing.
Dear. Okay, so Elora and Ogvar, as you kind of breach the surface, you hear Cuin's words. Elora, your hat has floated off a little way as it's kind of popped off your head where you've hit the water, and the ensuing kind of waves and disturbances has pushed it to float off. You know, you can see it just bobbing merrily on the surface, corks splayed around it like some kind of weird jellyfish. Yeah, and indeed you can hear in the far distance a bird squawking and flapping in a mocking manner.
Okay, so Elora will resurface, take a look around, and she's just going to kind of cough a bit and go, that didn't go according to plan. She's going to look upwards and look at the ladder. How far is she from the ladder?
Okay, so vertically about 30 foot.
Yes. Yes.
In terms of actually getting to a point where you could grab hold of the ladder, you're probably going to have to swim probably kind of 30 foot out into sea to get towards the ladder. So Otto, you're now approximately 60 to 70 foot away from the ladder, because you have made some progress in the time. Not a lot, but some. So you're now approximately kind of like 60 foot from the ladder.
When I eventually regain my composure, I shall continue struggling towards it.
Yeah,
Might take a while.
You'll make slow but steady progress, and in not a very elegant fashion either. Okay, so Ogvar, Elora, are you swimming to the ladder to get back onto the ship?
Do I pass my hat on the way?
Yeah, you will pass your hat, yes.
Okay, I will do that. So I will swim out towards the back end of the ladder, which will take me closer to Otto. I'll grab my hat on the way, jam my hat back on my head.
Yep.
Give a cheery wave to give a cheery wave to Ogvar. You all right there?
Yes, I'm okay, thank you. A little wet.
Isn't there a swim check?
What?
A swim check?
There is, I'm
in
gonna-
Flip on 5.
She says.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would probably swim further out past the end of the ladder and go to Otto to try and aid him back to the ladder.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a swim check in 3.5, but as she's just taking a standard action to swim, it's not going to fall under anything kind of special. She's not trying to do anything fruity in the sea.
Beg your pardon.
This is getting worse. Oh God, excuse me.
Okay, Elora.
Yes.
Make me a wisdom check, please.
Oh dear.
I think she's proven that
I think she failed the first one, actually.
I've got a -1 to wisdom.
That explains a lot.
That's a 19 -1, so she's had some kind of an epiphany because she's got an 18.
Okay.
Must have been the ice cold water of the
Yeah, it
sea.
must have been. Yeah, wake up call.
Yeah, nice stinging sensation on the face as you went face first into it.
Lovely.
Okay, yeah.
Exfoliation.
Okay, so Elora, you feel something slimy wrap around your ankle.
Ooh.
And
Oh, ew. What's that?
you reckon it's
She's going to shake her foot.
probably seaweed.
She doesn't want to think about it too much. She's still continuing to go to her destination. She's going to go to Otto.
Okay. So, yeah, between Otto making very slow but steady progress and Elora swimming out towards him, are you going kind of, you're doing the dolphin, breaststroke, front crawl, back crawl?
I think the first thing, as she's swimming, what she's going to do is she's going to readjust where Orland is and pop Orland, onto her, swinging round onto her back, onto the nape of her neck, so that he's actually out of the water, or pretty much out of the water for a start.
You hear oi, you absolute. And very lucky enough, he dunks back under the water, so you don't hear the filth that spews from his mouth. You get the impression, though, with the bubbles appearing, that he is not best impressed. I mean, he resurfaces after a moment. My leather's going to be cracked, and he dips again as you carry on swimming. It is.
Waterboarding you.
It works for the bat.
It is some very artful censorship going on, thanks to the sea. So, you eventually make your way out to a point where you are able to greet Otto, who is flapping and flailing. And you are, I'm assuming, going to kind of pick him up, or you just got to give him a hitch on your back, or what are you doing?
Yeah, well, he's got talents, doesn't he? He can grab onto my cloak on the back and keep Orland company.
I think in the interest of trying to make life a little easier, Otto will begrudgingly turn back into his human shape, at which point he'll struggle to retain any sense of buoyancy and will clutch onto you with desperation. Swimming is not something Otto does in human form.
Okay, so Laura, you're going to make your way back towards the ladder. As you now have Otto clinging on like a human barnacle, and also Orland, who is quite amusingly Otto, spewing all kinds of filth and disparaging comments, the works. He's insulting your intelligence, your features, your wisdom, anything that he can possibly insult, he is insulting.
Oh, you can just go and drink a bucket of seawater. You carry on.
It's your fucking fault, mate.
I shall respond with a mouthful of water.
Okay. So, Elora, make me a swim check now that you are suitably encumbered with bag and druid.
Okay, alright. Okay, swim. I just need to check something on my feet, bear with me.
And Otto, while she is doing that, give me a 10% increment, please.
1 to 10.
Excellent. Ryan, roll for it.
Okay, no problem.
If I'd known you saying him, to be fair, I would have gone low anyway.
We're low, but I don't think we're low enough. 17.
Okay, your loincloth doesn't float off. We're safe. Okay.
All right, yeah. Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
So, Elora, what's that swim check? Oh God.
I'd really like to lie about this, but it was a 3 plus a 3, which is a whole 6.
Fuck's sake. Oh God.
Sorry. I did say I got the dice toilet for the dice this week.
Yeah, with that, Otto, you are going to have to make me a swim check here.
Oh. Wish me luck. For the record,
Won't be any worse than
this
mine.
is a
seriously.
-1 on this dice roll. And it's cocked, 1 second. I roll a 7, so 6.
Same as me.
Yeah, so, Ogvar, as you ascend back up the ladder, it's a long crawl up the ladder. You get back onto the ship with Eric and Cuin. You know, you're probably quite disgruntled, I'm guessing. Wet,
Yeah, I just look at them both and just sigh.
cold.
That was not her best idea.
Yeah, the wind, this onshore wind kind of blowing over the sea is now kind of cooling you sufficiently. The water is frigid enough, but this wind is really giving you a bit of a chill now. And Eric and Cuin, looking at him, you can both see kind of this lovely kind of red burn across his nose and cheeks where he's clearly gone head first into the sea, and it's left this lovely red mark across his face where he's hit the surface of the water. Yeah, but looking out, you can witness, you see Elora, she's a woman of the sea. She's been on ships. This is her thing. This is her particular set of skills. She swims out, smooth as, nice steady front crawl. You hear the sounds of Orland spluttering and throwing out expletives, even from where you are on the ship. You can hear Orland. You see her reach Otto. Otto turned back into this old man hitching up the loincloth. You see him clinging on, a bit of a battle going on, and then you promptly see both Elora and Otto struggling to make it back. I mean, Otto is kind of clinging to Elora, obviously kind of dragging her down, but Elora is kind of dunking under, re-emerging, spluttering and coughing. It's not a smooth swim back.
I can breathe in air or water. Obviously I can breathe in air, but I can breathe underwater, so I won't be struggling for breath, but I might be struggling to hold Otto up.
Yeah, you're still going to be spluttering, because it's a quick transition. It's not like you take in the water and you breathe through the water. You're going water, air, water, air, water, air. It's not smooth, and you will most definitely be spluttering still. But yeah, you the three of you on the ship just witness this kind of this shambles going on as they slowly make their way back to the ladder. You can make it back, and I'm taking it you're probably both going to crawl back up ladder onto the ship. You'll both be fairly tired after this. But yeah, you're now all
bloody exhausted.
Yeah, you're now all shipside. So what are you all doing?
Right. Well, Can Cuin reach the top of the ladder?
Yeah, you can reach the ladder.
Right. Cuin is going to reach over to it and, what was it? Shrink.
Yes.
Grab hold of it and go, shrink. So it goes back to its original little matchbox size.
Yeah, you recover the ladder.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, the ladder shoots back out of the surface of the sea, shrinks back into palm size, and yeah, you've got the ladder, Cuin. Otto.
Just a point of note, when I've returned to my human form, I've regained 10 hit points, thanks to the wild shape.
Good job.
So I'm perhaps a little bit less battered and bruised than I was after hitting the water. That said, I'm going to spend a few moments coughing up a lot of water out my lungs, wringing as much water as I can out of my sodden clothing, and after I've done that, I shall straighten up best I can and say, it's a load of fun. What were you lot up to? Looked like you were playing with some toys.
Well, we were very impressed with your aerobatic display. Excuse me, still a bit of water there. You did well with the birds. What happens to the one on the surface? I mean, what do we do with them? Do we have to... Are they going to get back up, or what? How does this work?
How many arrows you got for over?
Well, got quite a few.
Have we got any oil? Could set fire to it.
I don't have any oil on the window.
I don't think I've got any either. I
Don't
could
know if I
burn
could
them.
throw it that far.
Well, we need to deal with those. We can't have them getting back out. Anybody got any ideas? I could maybe burn them?
With what?
Well, with something that throws a bit of fire.
Well, it doesn't look like they're getting out just yet. Maybe we leave the poor buggers to drown, and we carry on with what we need to do.
Okay, I'll be guided by you on that one.
I suppose if we're inside, they can't get us inside, can they?
No, I hope not.
No, but we have got to come back out, I suppose. But yeah, okay.
Right. Come on, then.
Yeah, there were a couple of, well, golem things. They looked like they were made of clay. Obvar was brilliant. He roped them, he netted them, we shoved them, we got them overboard. They're like anchors now.
Well, on one note,
What did you call them?
Anchors.
well done, Ogvar, but I'm sure that
But when
we better not spend too much long time up here.
when we landed
quick,
on
right?
deck, Otto, there was some imp-like things with little horns, and they went off shrieking, and that's when they came out from below. That's where they came from. The imps, I haven't seen them again. I don't know what they were.
Well, before they make more of these things, should we go find them?
Yeah, I mean, we're into this now, aren't we?
I shall cough up a little bit more water.
Has anybody seen Rowan? Rowan?
Yeah.
Rowan!
Rowan comes whizzing at you like a furry missile. Starts circling around your head, twittering excitedly.
Rowan, you're not invisible anymore. I'm really sorry. The minute I landed on deck, I had to cast a spell, and that then meant that you were visible. I'm really sorry about that. That's just one of those things.
He just continues twittering. He's still quite excited. This is all very exciting.
Okay, don't go far. Stay around me. Don't go far.
Okay. So you all are you making your way below deck now?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Laura's just going to wring her cloak out for the second time in 24 hours. She's just going to...
And Cuin's going to swap from his great sword to his sword and shield.
Excellent.
as he's doing that. Although it don't take me any time to do that anyway. But
Okay. Excellent. So, you head down the ramp that these golems came up, I guess? Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
As an eagle-eyed Otto desperately searched for a solution to an immediate mid-air crisis, he turned to swift salvation in the form of the sea. Folding back his flight feathers, and in a selfless act worthy of local legend, he performed an especially notable druidic dive. Sadly, no one had been in a position to actually witness it, and thus, as his high-velocity, almost vertical entry catapulted him beneath the salty surface, his duped flock of fiendish foes unerringly followed. He was now alone, undefended, and now lost from view. A second spot of rather panicked but rapid roping saw the remaining prostrate mud monster trussed up like its twin that went before it. Dragging it over the deck, the outlook for our DM's golem was most certainly grim, as it did not take long before it took the downward journey to Davy Jones. Not strictly canon in the who's who of Innistrad, you understand, but nevertheless, you get the picture. Back on board the boat, our companions became aware that Otto's previous flight had now turned to plight as he resurfaced with woefully waterlogged wings, struggling to keep his beak above the breakers. The sorcerer came up with a stunning solution to salvage the spring sage from his soggy situation. Engaging the services of Ogvar, Elora extended some help via use of the party's magical ladder, and, with both the heroes hanging on to one end, she commanded it, providing precise calculations. As the proverbial car crash unfolded, and despite its ample length, it somehow fell well short of her expectations. It became woefully clear that she had failed to grasp the gravity of the situation, thus resulting in the hero-to-zero manoeuvre of propelling both herself and the ranger in a rather rocket-like fashion for a decent distance. With her hat unseated, its corks worked the waves admirably, but apparently it was not the only thing getting salty. Hey, you made it this far, so lend us your ears for a moment longer if you will. Firstly, we are most humbled that you are enjoying our yarn, and the crew thank you from the bottom of their hearts for your patronage. Producing this podcast is incredibly hard work, and as such, if you would like to support us, there are a few ways in which you could really make a difference. Sharing links to friends and family helps to spread the word so others like you can find us, and in turn they too can enjoy the show. Equally helpful is leaving a 5-star review on Spotify and any other streaming services, which will help us immensely. Or, if you feel you could go that extra mile and contribute a few coppers to keep our creative juices flowing, you can hop on over to our Buy Me a Coffee page or drop us an email. We would all be immensely grateful for your support in any form. Lastly, we invite you to visit our website, where you will find information on our campaign from backstories to settings. Join our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter. All the links are in our episode bios. Don't forget to smash the subscribe and download buttons so you never miss the next episode. See you all again next week, folks.